There we go. Easy enough. You guys are all muted. If you have any questions, go ahead and chat. I'm going to try not to look at it until I need to. Okay, so, and you can see I did my hair for this meeting. Oh my goodness. Today is Sunday, August 10th. See, you can't be nervous on the camera because I'm like winging it here. It's August 10th. 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and this is the Team Victory All-Star team call. I'm glad that you guys all made it. I commend you all, and I see a lot of familiar faces that make it to every meeting, every team meeting every week, and I appreciate that. And I know that it makes a huge difference in your business, and I'm sure that you think the same thing. Otherwise, you wouldn't show up. So thank you for doing that. And you don't have to catch the recording, so there you go. Easy enough. So today I wanted to talk about getting coaches started right and really prioritizing, okay? As new coaches, we tend to be a bit overwhelmed because we have tons and tons of resources. Now, you coaches that have been around a long time are grateful for those resources because they're always there for you. But as a brand new coach, and you probably remember when you became a coach, unless you're as old of a coach as I am who had zero resources, you probably were just as overwhelmed. But what tends to happen is that, and I see this all the time actually, and I'm now kind of immune to it, which is sad, and I don't want to be, but it's true. What happens is you have a brand new coach so excited to sign up. Like this is that stepping out of the comfort zone that that they just have been looking for. It's a chance for them to, earn extra money, create their own destiny, design their life. So they jump in and then they go, okay, I know I'm supposed to step out of my comfort zone, but oh my, you know what? There's all this information. And I was talking to Ashton about this a little bit ago, and she's going to give her insights at the end of this call, which I think is going to be great. Because I think it will really, you won't be hearing from me. You'll be hearing from someone who is a recent new coach and who's revamped her business because she put a few things in place, and it goes a lot along with this call. So what I want to talk about is prioritizing your job as a coach, a brand new coach, so that you do not feel overwhelmed. Okay, it's very easy to be overwhelmed because you have so many resources. And if you are a go-getter, like you all are because you're on this call, then you feel that you need to have all the information that you possibly can to be successful. I know for me, I was a professional student. I used to call myself that, a professional student. I got my bachelor's degree. It took me 5 years. I went to surgical tech school. It took me a year for that. I went to nursing school. It took me another 2 years. I swear to God, I could have been an MD with the amount of school that I went through. But I'm conditioned as a student who wants to learn, right? We're go-getters. We want all the information. Well, I will tell you that I'm still looking for information. I have been a coach for 5 years, right? It is absolutely 100% impossible to have all the information that you need to do this business. I know you're saying like, wait, what? It's impossible to have all the information I need. It is. It is. I'm growing every day still. I don't have all the information. So I want you to tell yourself first, it's impossible to have all the information to be successful in this business. Plain and simple. The benefit of that is that you have so much information to use at your fingertips to be successful. So you can always rely on that and know that you have it, right? It's a great resource. And guess what? That team page is like your search engine. If you can't find it in there, you search by asking the question, and someone that's been doing this longer can go back at that resource and grab it and share it with you. You do not have to have that information to get started. So talking about priorities in this business as a brand new coach, one, do not get overwhelmed with the amount of information there is. Plain and simple. You are not missing anything. And as we were talking, we were saying how the business is not rocket science, right? It is a very simple business, and we all have busy lives. Most of us have day jobs. I know I did up until a year ago. We have day jobs, we have families, we have kids, we have to cook dinner, we have to work out, we have to fit all of this in and all this information. So throw that information out. I know that's crazy, but it's true. And I'm covering your face. It's crazy. And I need to turn on the light in a minute here because it's a little bit dark. Okay. Throw all that information out. Priorities. The priorities are your team page, number one, because like I said, that is your search engine. If something comes up in a conversation and you don't know how to answer it, you either type in the search engine in the team page, Google it, or ask the question. Don't private message me. I know that sounds so bad, but it's true because there's so many other people that are in this group that have been coaches for longer than a day that know the answer. And you get that answer right away. You don't have to worry about it. Then you write it down. You'll never forget it. And then guess what? When another new coach comes in and has that same question, guess what? You can answer that question because you just went through that whole process. I will tell you, I Google probably 50 times a day myself. Google is your best friend, especially with Beachbody, especially with looking for images or getting ideas of what people are doing. Google is your best friend. So you don't have to have all the information. So prioritizing, knowing that you don't have to have all the information, and you need to invite to a group. Well, we made that simple as a brand new coach by using a free group. And now I know that when you start as a new coach, it's really scary. You're like, I have to run a group. Oh gosh. And in the past, we would say, go do a paid group. And yes, I still encourage that. But what was happening with brand new coaches is not only were they overwhelmed with all the information, but then it was like, okay, go run a paid group and go invite and get it, sell a bunch of challenge packs in the first 2 weeks of your business. Okay, what happened? Deer in the headlights, right? Too much information, and now I have to go tell people to go buy something? Are you kidding me? What did I sign up for? So one, you've got the resources. We've got this guide. And this guide is not like something that you need to memorize. This guide is like a handbook, just like your search engine. It's a handbook. Just go to it when you need to find something. You don't need to know it all. Make that simple. And then, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. Inviting to a paid, and we took the paid group out as the focus of a brand new coach and made it a free group. And then guess what? There's a template. There's many templates. You don't have to do a free 7-day free clean eating group. That's okay. The purpose of a free group is you're at like all of those things that we talk about in all that all those resources. We're already telling you're doing it. You don't know you're doing it, but you're doing it. You're inviting, you're talking about things, you're talking about what you're doing. It can be a push-up challenge. It can be a clean eating challenge. It doesn't follow the template, copy, paste. What you're doing is you're going through the motions and learning on the job training. Now, when you start a job, this is a really important point. When you start a job, you're in orientation for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? And then you're evaluated at the end of 30 days. What we have is that we have new coaches signing up, really super excited and want to be successful day one. And then 2 weeks into it, they feel that they are failing because they haven't sold a challenge pack. Hello, that's only 2 weeks. You've been doing this for 2 weeks. How can you be a failure, right? But we compare ourselves to other people. Well, when you're a student, it's really hard to compare yourself to other people. In this business, we compare ourselves to other people and we say that we are not doing as good as that person because that person must be a brand new coach. When in fact, that person could be a brand new coach, but that person could also be a coach that signed up to be a coach a year ago, that didn't do anything with their business but watch and watch and watch and watch, and now said, okay, I'm ready. They've already gotten, they've gotten the vibe, so they start out the gate, and yeah, they sell a challenge pack in 2 weeks. That's a totally different story. You cannot compare yourself. So don't think that at 2 weeks, if you haven't sold a challenge pack, or you've come out of the gate and you're talking to all these people, and then you hear crickets, that you failed. Like, that happens 99.9% of the time. Doing a free group is going through the motions of training how to talk to people, and you're not selling anything, right? If you come out of your first free group and don't sell a challenge pack, guess what? That's 100% normal. And some of you, our coaches on my team, have been through, and we've talked about this in the group a little bit. I have had people in my free groups over and over and over, and then committed to a challenge pack, and then coaching. Those are what Shalene calls lifers. You get them in the car because they trust you, and that's all a free group is they trust you, that you have their best interest at heart. You're over-delivering in what you have to offer. You're offering this free group, and it's just you being you, and that's it, not expecting anything in return, zero. And you do it over and over again, every month, and you can see my calendar now. Every month, I've got it planned out every month. It's very systematic. It's not rocket science. I got a free group, I got a paid group. I got a free group, I got a paid group. And guess what? Those free group people will be in my free group probably 3 times before they end up in a paid group. And that's okay. We have to be patient in this business. As long as you're patient and you're doing every single, the 3 vital behaviors every single day, that like, okay, I can go to bed. Like, I'm not failing. I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no magic. I didn't create you improve on your post. You get better at that. That's just tweaking. That's like your eyes are more open. You're like, oh, next time even I do that. Like I look at my post a year ago compared to the post now, I want to throw up. Mm-hmm. And I've been a coach for 5 years. So you improve on that. So I never, ever, ever want to feel that people are failing. Now, this is a big, 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 big thing. And Chris already talked about it over here, and this is what we talked about earlier, is that simplifying things is the goal and has always been the goal for this team. And I've been blessed to be in some really great conversations with top coaches over the years. Every time, whenever I go to leadership, I connect with new people, and then some, and now it's like the people that I've been connected with, it's such a blessing for me because they're so giving of their information. This power of 3 that fell in my lap has been something that I personally have been looking for 5 years, and I almost fell over because it's not rocket science. I could have easily created this, but did I? No. It is simple, and we tested this out with this emerald to diamond push group, right? We said, okay, I'm gonna do what other coaches who are a lot more successful than I am are doing. Push groups, very simple accountability. Well, how do we be accountable if nobody's using the business activity tracker? You know why nobody's using the business activity tracker? It goes back to what I said in the beginning of this call. It's overwhelming, even for me. Like, are you kidding me? I gotta fill this out every single day? Like, no, it's too overwhelming. Simplify. That's what I want everybody to do, is simplify. So we did this in the Emerald to Diamond push group, and what was happening is that we simplify things so much that group is growing exponentially in their number of additions. Now their free groups, they had already had free groups before, and it wasn't a matter of changing the schedule. It was a matter of changing their everyday activity based on their really busy lives. If you're really busy and you're overwhelmed with all these resources, the last thing that you're going to do is do those consistent things every day, right? Because first of all, you're not tracking them. You don't feel like You got to get them done, because what you feel like is you got to go back in and train and study more and learn more. And how do I talk to people? And you spent 3 days not talking to people. So I cannot stress enough this power of 3. And now, if you're a pen to paper person, if you are a mobile person, this absolutely works. Annie Reed had given me a video this morning that she had done, because I had sent her, again, everybody's giving, I sent her my video of how to do this mobily. So she did one, how to do this pen to paper, and she sent it to me this morning. I've added it to the training. Now, Chris has already said in the chat that the power of 3 has changed his business, because he's got a crazy busy life. He's got crazy busy goals that have to be done every day, and you gotta stay sane. I'm sorry, right? You gotta stay sane. If you're doing that, and I've been there, trust me, I've been there many times, where you feel like you just haven't gotten everything done, and you go to bed and you feel like you haven't gotten everything done. The power of 3 is number 1 priority. Well, number 2, because number 1 was saying that you don't need to know everything. Number 2 is doing the power of 3. Don't worry about any of the training. Only worry about the power of 3. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to have Ashton tell you her experience with the power of 3, where she was at when she started as a coach, where she was at before, how life was, being a part of the Emerald to Diamond group, and what has changed in the last, we've been in that group for 3 weeks. Okay. Go ahead. Come over here. Come close so we can see you.
Okay, so I'm supposed to start where I was when I started.
When did you become a coach?
I became a coach in September of 2013, last September.
Okay, so less than a year.
I'm in college currently, and was when I started as a coach. I was in college when I started as a customer. But I didn't realize like how busy my schedule was until I added just this one thing to my plate. With coaching, you know, I had done a 90-day challenge, and then Ashley was like, hey, you know, Russ has been wanting you to do the coaching thing for a long time, because he knows you're really good at that entrepreneurship type thing, you know, and he thinks you'd be really good at it, but I wanted you to experience it first. And so I said, okay, well, I'll try it. You know, it's nothing different really than what I've started as, and I can put in as much time as I want. Well, putting in as much time as I wanted, I ended up putting in a lot of time the first like week and a half, 2 weeks, might even be pushing it. And then life got in the way, you know. I have 3-hour art classes every day, and there's usually like 2 or 3 of them. So I get up in the morning, go to class at 8, and I'm not done with class or work by the time till like 8 p.m. So it's a 12-hour day, and then I get home, and you know, I gotta clean up my apartment because I live with boys and all of these different things. And so by the time I was ready to lay down and go to bed, it was midnight, and I had to get back up in the morning and do it all over again. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I can't do this coaching thing. I don't have time. And I talked to Ashley about it, and she kind of was like, well, you know, just do what you can right now. Focus on, you know, working out, getting your Shakeology in, and then once you get used to that, add more personal development. And it just still wasn't working out, because I was looking for that one system, the one thing I had to do every day
that you could fit in your day.
Right, that I could fit in. And, oh God, between finals, Christmas, actually I'd say Thanksgiving, finals, Christmas, you know, New Year's, then going all the way through to spring finals and everything like that, I was crazy busy. March we had sophomore reviews. So that's like a make or break in the art department thing. If you don't pass sophomore reviews, you get kicked out. So I'm like stressing about all of this stuff, and I kind of just completely fell off of all of the wagons that I could have fallen off of. And summer rolled around, I was like, okay, I'm taking this time again. Last summer it worked out great. I'm going to do it again this summer. And, you know, I started doing okay in the beginning, got to maybe middle of June, and I was still going, I don't know, there still isn't enough time. Still isn't enough time in the day to do all of this stuff. And I just started like losing my mind. And I think some of you might have even seen my post in the group. I said, I'm losing my mind. I don't have time for any of this. And Anna suggests, okay, we'll go get, no excuses, go get that, listen to it in your car. So then you're still getting your personal development in without actually having to sit down and read a book. Okay. And the day that she told me that, I went on my Kindle, ordered it, and they sent it to me like a week later. And then I started listening to that, and just listening to that helped every day because I felt like I was at least taking something productive in. And then I saw that this group was happening, and I talked to Ashley, and I was like, Ashley, do you think they'll let me be in this group? Because I don't want to be known as that girl that's a flake. I started the group really strong, and I just stopped posting at the end because pretty much
you're a failure.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to keep making myself feel that way. And then I got in this group and they said, okay, make sure you're doing the power of 3 every day. I said, well, what's that? And I was like, oh, I'll explain. Just give me a day. And so she, you know, we figured all of that out, and I started doing that. And I'm telling you, I went from signing on, let's see, before this group, the last coach I had signed on was maybe October of last year. Mm-hmm. And since this group started, I've signed on 2 coaches. Both are, I think, starting in this.
I just got goosebumps.
Both, I think, one of them is for sure a discount coach, but the other one, she's been the one that I've been trying really hard to get to join, and just where I've been working really hard for the past year on this one person. And finally I messaged her and I said, listen, I got a group starting at this time, and I think you'd be great at it. And so she finally messaged me. I said, okay, I'll do it. I said, okay, well, I'll sign you up as a coach. There's also, while this was happening, the coach at a glance was happening. And she said, well, if you're going to sign me up as a coach, I guess you could invite me to that. I'll see what that's about. I haven't followed up with her on that yet because I wanted to give her some time to get all of her stuff. And like,
so what would you say then? You joined the group. You were afraid that you would not finish the group, and you dove into the power of 3. Now you've got a crazy busy summer. And what would you say the difference is? You told me that you've signed up someone in your account every week since you've been doing it, and that is because you've used the power of 3. So by using the power of 3 every day, tell me how you use it in a day. Like, you wake up, you do your stuff, you go through and do the power of 3, and then you're done, or you explain how you get it done in your day.
Well, okay, I usually it's been different since I've been in California. Usually I would I would do it every night before I went to bed. It was my one thing that I had to do. It was just like brushing my teeth or taking a shower. I made it made it that kind of a importance level. And there were some nights I'd be laying on the bed next to my boyfriend, and I'd be like typing and passing out in the middle of it, and he'd wake me up and say, finish what you're doing. And I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have 4 or 5 responses. And that, just waking up to seeing those responses was uplifting.
Fuels your fire.
It fueled me to keep pushing for it. And then, you know, I'd pick a day. I made my business hours kind of, it's tentatively between 5 p.m. Missouri time and 10 p.m. Missouri time. And I'll do my follow-ups first. I'll respond to all of the ones first, and then after that, I start messaging my new people and adding my new friends. And then at the end of every week, I take the new friends that I've added and I put them on my list for next month of people to follow up, to message and follow up.
So the power of 3, simple on a crazy busy schedule.
Right, and it tricked me into thinking that I was only doing 3 a day.
Right.
Tricking myself into thinking I was barely doing anything made it so much easier.
And then at the end of the week, you looked at your numbers, and your numbers are higher than those days that you were binging on working. So, okay, we've got 10 minutes. my warning button. So your suggestion, let's say if you were a brand new coach again in September with the information that you have now, what advice would you give a brand new coach?
like advice I would give myself.
Okay. Right. I'm going to like do over starting last. Obviously what we go through puts us where we're at. But talking to a brand new coach, you say, okay, what changed me in my success? It didn't take, I want you to be more successful in a shorter period of time than I have been. And here is my advice for you.
My advice would be, just follow it. Just all you'd have to do is learn how to use the power of 3 and follow it religiously,
and then shut down the computer and go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's exactly what I do every night. I won't even, and if I hear my phone buzz that someone's messaged me back, I just ignore it because I'm done for the night. Mm-hmm. As soon as I finish my power of 3, I'm done. And it's such a relief. It's such an amazing feeling to just lay down and have nothing to worry about and feel like I've done something. Mm-hmm. So that's my advice. All you have to do is just type it in every day.
Right.
Friend 3 people every day.
Right. And that simply grows your business.
Yeah.
What about the overwhelming feeling of what did I sign up for? There's all of this stuff.
That's honestly, that's the hard part for me because I didn't realize I'd felt it until I'd felt it for 8 months.
Right.
But
you don't know everything.
No.
Right?
Right.
And yet you still signed up coaches and you still have people committed to a challenge group because you just simply sent 3 friend requests, sent 3 hey, how's it going? And sent 3 I have got this free group that starts on Monday. Right? So magic. And if you had a question from one of those conversations that stumped you, what would you do?
I would just ask the group.
Ask the group, right?
Right. So I guess my advice in that would just be to just relax because, and again, like you were saying with not comparing yourself to other people, that was probably my biggest struggle because I felt like everybody else was doing so much better than me.
But you don't know everybody's story.
Exactly. And I didn't, but I thought I did because I read all of the good things that they posted. But obviously no one's going to be like, yay, I signed no one up and lost 3 customers today.
Right. The great thing about the accountability, and we don't do it in the team page because it is overwhelming. And I am looking to run more push groups to kind of push you into that accountability. But be honest. If you look at my accountability sheet, in fact, I'll post it in there. This week has been crazy. No, I didn't get all my 3 bubbles in. It doesn't. It happens, and that's okay. But you know that on the days that you can get before you go to bed, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you go to bed and you'll be fine. Of course, now that I watched Annie Reed's video today and all of her bubbles were filled in, even with her crazy summer, I'm comparing, right? I'm like, I want to be that way. Now I have no excuse. Why did I miss out? But be honest. It's okay if you miss a day. It's just like, it's okay if you just, life gets in the way and you missed your workout. It's not the end of the world, right? You're not a failure for doing that. But this keeps you in check every day. You know exactly what you missed yesterday. If I didn't fill in all the bubbles, guess what? Today, I'm going to fill in all those dang bubbles today before I go to bed. And there's only 3 bubbles. Right. 3 of this, 3 of that, 3 of that. It takes you 3 seconds to scroll through and see who you want to friend request. And like the conversation was going on today in the group, these garage sale groups or in search of, or like we've got these local, sell my stuff groups. Connect with people in there. If you got something to sell it. Guess what? Friend request all those people that want to buy it and create a relationship with it. You can find somebody anywhere. And that's where people struggle with, I keep talking to the same people. Where can I find people? You can find people anywhere, especially on social media. It used to be the other way around. Like, oh God, nobody on social media. But all of these groups, you connect with local people. I sold my desk today. Guess what? New friend request. Started talking to her today. Simple as that. Friend request, friend request, friend request. And at the end of the week, you've added, if you're working 7 days, you've added 21. If you're only working 5 days, you've added 15 new people to your network. And each week, 30, it adds up. So you're talking to new people. And that is exactly how every week I get on the leaderboard. It's not because of my old customers from, years ago that are just buying in Beachbody. It's just because I have the system. And like I said, I'm not perfect. All my bubbles weren't filled in. But every day I post 3 times a day. It's scheduled. Something motivational. I send my friend requests. I send my messages. Hey, how's it going? I pop on somebody's wall. Hey, how's it going? So that I know that they're seeing my feed. And I invite to challenge groups. I mean, there's no magic. I don't do anything different to get, 1,000 PV. It's just consistent. And when you're adding 15 people a week for 5 years, you start to add a lot of people to your network. So that's it. Be creative in finding people. I still am like, let's see, I friended every single person in high school I never was friends with. Now who do I go to, right? Like nobody in my neighborhood knows me. Now who do I go to? Oh, friend request, soccer. Okay, friend request. It's that simple. And you're not sending them messages, hey, be part of my challenge group. It's simply, hey, how's it going? Like you said, you put them on your list for next week that says, hey, how's it going? And they really think that you're a cool person because nobody does it. Mm-hmm. So that's it. I hope that helps. I'm actually going to do a video to add into the coaching guide that is what to do in your first week of coaching. That kind of goes along with what we've talked about here, but really to ease your mind because I've seen so many people take that road where they're like really excited and signing up a bunch of people and getting people committed to their groups. And then the next month is like Zippo. And then guess what happens? I don't hear from them. They're MIA. They're not in the team page anymore because they're embarrassed, which is the worst thing ever because there's no reason to be embarrassed. Everybody goes through it. It's the people that come out on the other end that are the ones that are successful. Everybody's going to have dips. I've had thousands of dips in my business. I said that today to somebody. It's true. I've had thousands of dips. It's not always roses here. It's not. I mean, I struggle. Sometimes I'm at successes. This was like 2 months ago. I was at 4 points and it was like the 26th of the month. For me, hello, it happens. It doesn't happen often because I know that guess what? I look back and I wasn't as consistent. It's if you get through that dip, you're going to have a dip. You just know it because that is just the nature of the business. You know that there's a dip and you're going to get to the other side, then you're going to learn from what you went through to make you better. And that's really what this business is all about, is learning as you go and just keeping things very, very simple and shutting down at night and having fun. And that's it. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. I totally get it. And I get engulfed in comparing. And I think that's just human nature. I compare myself to the top 10 and I realize their story is not my story. I can't compare. I'm doing what I love. I'm working with all of you guys. And that's what I love. And that is what gives me joy. And I have to shut off the rest of that chatter, just like you guys do as new coaches. Shut off the rest of the chatter. You don't need to be amazing in the first 2 weeks. You just need to show up. That's it. All right? I've got less than a minute. Bye, guys. I'm going to look at the chat and see if I missed anything and then address it in the group. Say bye.
Bye.